the other day was like you posting an Instagram story. One thing that I actually, that caught my attention was I spend so much time like choosing what filter to put or what background music to use or how people are gonna see it, how many views I get. Should I put a picture where I post like this or should I put a picture where I don't face the camera? And that just made me realize the things that we show that are supposed to be real is actually so fabricated, right? Like, the selfie, but like I cleaned up the whole like even the pillow, I made sure it looks in a certain type of way. Yeah. Maybe like the press, the aesthetic or something like that. And then I was like, what is wrong with me? After like I took the picture and I was like, what? Yeah. Like we try to be so real, but actually plan on the realness, Yeah. Like there's no even like being ourselves is like I don't know something authentic, I'm just being me or like so basically like authenticity is like we try so hard to create realness, Like the hard part is to show that you're effortless, that you're very like, oh, like I woke up like this, or get ready with me, daily routine. People try to show their reality in such a curated way. And the funny thing is, a man in the 1950s actually wrote about this chaos. So Erving Goffman basically he said that authenticity is a performance, right? What do you think about him? Like that's no working with people anywhere we go. Like you're a different person in front of like your friend, different person at work. Yeah. And then when you're just like by yourself, I think he defined it like front and back thing. Yeah. Exactly. So like, all these things that we do and like we start mentioning things about how we conversation, the way you talk to people. It's like you're setting a tone about who you are. Exactly. And we're all like stuck in this mood. Yeah. So like that's exactly what social media is, right? Like when we are off social media, who are we actually? Like, who are we backstage? Translating what we want to show people. It's about how you want people to think you are and how you want them to think about you in a certain image. And sometimes the scary part is what if social media never existed? Like, who would you actually be? Would you really have a sense of self? That question I actually ask myself every day because, like, what would we do if we never had social media? And I think this is what is called impression management because obviously you would want to put out a certain image of yourself to people who are your friends or your family. Some people block family entirely off their social media because they don't want people to see what they're doing. So I think impression management is all about how you decide people should see you and what do you do to make sure people see you the way they want you to see you. Social media and nonsense is literally social media. Right? Like, according to Goffman, there's like front stage and backstage. And according to his definition, front stage is where you put up the show, right? Where you show your aesthetic, you're living the best life out there, you have everything you want. And backstage is where you relax, you take a break, and you're just like recharging. But do we really have a backstage in this generation? Now, backstage is the actual content. Yeah. Like, do you realize, like, all these celebrities, they do all these videos, they show all these positions of themselves actually waking up. Yeah. And then like shooting their morning routine. I'm like, brother, if you have to shoot you waking up, who put the camera there? Okay, now let's talk about influencers. If we are doing so much drama, like choosing the music, being conscious about how we look, choosing a filter, think about the efforts that influencers put into every reel they post, every post that they put up on their feed, every story that they had to their highlight. Imagine the effort they put in. Even like normal people like us are forced to do these kind of things. It's actually a term called calibrated amateurism. Like this is what everyone's like doing. Because like I follow Emma Chamberlain, all these YouTubers, Kendall Jenner, Kylie Jenner, with all their fake things done on their face and all. Even like normal people are like forced to believe that this is what normal feels like.
We have a house of 20 people that post 3 to 4 times a day. Like we're talking about over 150 videos every single day from just our team.
The maximum number of videos that they could produce per day is 80 videos. So no, Thomas, you guys don't produce over 150 videos a day. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Like if you say like, oh, get ready with me, they'll be putting on mascara and talking about their past relationship, or they'll be eating and be like, oh, the other day I saw this person, and they're eating. So it's showing that casualness and that effortlessness, messy bun, a very uh, messy but aesthetic room. You have a candle in a corner, and you might have pink, like a theme wallpaper or something. So it looks very casual, very effortless, but is very calculated. Like Goffman, I think Goffman and Hahn, like they both portrayed all these things like before. Like Goffman predicted all these things in 1950, and Hahn depicted this like for the modern age. Yeah. And like we all evolved with technology. If you see the difference in our parents and everyone else, like they had to be socially like that was a different time. But for us right now, like this app called Videos. Yeah. It's like you have to post like at a certain time in a day or about like whatever you're doing. So like people post with whatever doing. Like you're like working in a cafe. What is the name of the app? Be real. But are you being real? This like I had this discussion with my friend so many times, and then my friend she's a lawyer. I asked her, okay, if you got a be real notification like in the middle of a courtroom, would you post? She went clueless. Yeah. But then she posts all these other times when she's like sitting in fancy cafes. Yeah. But then I asked her, like, that's not authentic. You're being that way so you can post this. And honestly, I think it's really sad because, like, that's what even Han talks about, right? Like, slowly the backstage is disappearing. Like, even when you are relaxing, you're thinking about, okay, what should I post? Or, like, if you're having a breakdown, you're like, okay, how can I make this a fun? How can I get views on this? Oh, like if I take a sky picture, like is the like should I post this or not? Yeah, like I'm enjoying the view of the sunset. You're like, okay, I should show people that I saw the sunset. That is the thought that keeps in people's mind. If you go for a concert, how often do you actually enjoy the concert? Oh, people are just out there with their phones all the time. Like if you see videos, like reels, people just have their phones out. Yeah. Everywhere. When you go on the metro, like when I go back on the metro after work, I just look at people. More than half of the crowd is buried on their phones, like their head bent on their phones. And I'm like, how often do you like if I see a person reading a book on the metro, I'm like, oh, that's so rare. But the whole topic is about like authenticity. Yeah. And how we try being more authentic, but we don't realize what kind of an effort we put into that. Exactly. So that like there's like this confusion, like the only line of confusion here is like that are we being authentic or are we trying too hard? Or is the line between front stage and backstage actually blurred? Yeah. Like think about this. What is the online curated version of you, this aesthetic version that you portrayed online? Starts to like replace you. It's actually so scary. Like, would you really lose your sense of self? Like, Goffman talks about performance, right? Like how we put up an act to please people or to uh, give them, paint an image that you want them to see of yourself. But then later on, Han talks about the effort it takes to play that performance that Goffman was talking about. So if you constantly keep putting efforts in, won't there be a point of burnout? Like Han also believes that you're performing so much for others, like you're trying to stay visible so much online, even in person. Like sometimes you forget to be actually present in the present in the current moment. Yeah, makes sense. So when you're even with your friend, family, or in phone, yeah, you're online. So like, being on the phone, it's about that version of you that you curate and put in front of people, right? Like, is that version really sustainable? Like, how long can you hold on to that version of yourself? And what if one day social media suddenly disappears? Would you still have a sense of self or would you completely disappear? It's like so terrifying and like all these things. so much labor that you're putting in. Yeah, I mean, you constantly are putting in efforts to stay visible. What if that visibility stops? Would you still have a sense of self? This is what we'll be exploring in episode